Hey guys, Blonde Asana or Toxicaster here once again, and today I'm going to be discussing with you guys how to do a lot of damage versus Titans. Now unfortunately I actually woke up really late today because my sleeping schedule is like super screwed up right now, and I wasn't able to record during our clan battle because I actually missed it. But I still have some general templates and guidelines that you guys can follow to try to increase your damage against Titans, and I'm also going to be discussing some of the best Astromon that are farmable and non-farmable Astromon to use in Titans. Alright, to get started, I think I'm going to just go visit into my Astromon box actually to demonstrate this. Now, if we can set up actually four teams of four, obviously we have the first set, we have the second set, the third set, and the fourth set. Now, a common misconception is that you want to use your strongest 8 Astromon first in the first two sets. This is because the second set, the Titan, when it gets its AoE, it does more damage than in the first set. However, this is actually very false because, especially for some Titans, for example Fire, when he gets his AoE, it may do less damage, but against the first and second sets, he'll actually have a one-turn stun, an AoE one-turn stun, 100% chance, which is a lot more detrimental than a little bit of extra damage. So I'm going to post the template all in the description below in case you don't follow, but this is just going to be me explaining my rationale behind it, and you guys can just listen in if you need rationale. However, if you just want the actual templates, you can look down in the description below and I'll leave it there. Anyways, I guess I'll start right now with saying that if you guys aren't a very high level player but you still want to increase your Titan's damage, I would recommend choosing one Titan that you want to go against. Most commonly, the easiest Titans to beat are Wood and Dark, and possibly Light as well is pretty simple. However, if you're really trying to look into joining a higher level clan that may not accept you otherwise, I would suggest going to try to beat Water or Fire Titans. As a guild leader, I can say that people who can do a lot of damage against Fire and Water Titans are highly valuable. Anyways, after you choose one Titan to, quote, master, I guess, here's how you're going to want to set up your team. How I like to set up my team is, let's put it this way, we're going to have a Team 1 setting up right now. We're going to call the first 4 monsters Team 1, the second 4 monsters Team 2, the third 4 monsters Team 3, and the last 4 monsters Team 4, just for clarity's sake. So for Team 1, what I would suggest is, also just a simple note, Team 1 is going to be a parallel to Team 3, and Team 2 is going to be a parallel to Team 4. What this means is they're going to have the same setups. So how I would set them up is for Team 1 and 3, that being the first teams that attack in each against the Titan in each round, I would set it up such as this. Say I'm going against a Water Titan, for example. I'm going to have 3 debuffers with 1 healer and having a defensive variant. Basically what this means is, for example, I can use my Woodhorn as 1 debuffer, as she has a defense down, and a defensive variant. It's not quite the defensive variant that I would want because of its resistance, but resistance is still good, especially for Team 1 and Team 2, because the Titan's AoE will have a lot of debuffs that you want to try to resist. Now, secondly, I can put in my Wood Gatito, as he's another debuffer. Thirdly, I can put in my Wood Leo, as he's another debuffer. And lastly, I can put in my Wood HANA because she's a healer. So the basic composition for this will try to be 1 healer and 3 debuffers in teams 1 and 3, and this is basically so that your team 2 and 4 can do a lot more damage with the defense downs and live longer because of the attack downs. Now, what you're going to want to set up for Team 2 and Team 4, in my opinion, is using an offensive variant, for example, we can use my Wood Kokomaru, and using one debuffer, one healer, and 2 attackers. So we already have Wood Kokomaru as the attacker. We can say send in a debuffer. For example, I really like my Water Indra right now because Water Indra has the 3-turn. Here, I can show you. It has 80% chance for 3-turn attack down, which is actually it's actually insane for Titans. Coupled with his Courageous Strike 5-star skill, it does massive amounts of damage. Water Indra is probably the best monster for Titans, so I would leave him as my debuffer. And for what I need one more attacker and one more healer, so I would possibly use a Banshee since it's a pseudo defense downer as well. And I could just round it all out with something like a light HANA. Although, now, obviously Elemental Advantage is very important. However, I understand that not everyone is going to have 16 monsters of the same element, and I just like to refer back to the point of choosing one Titan to master. After you get a core amount of 6 stars down, I'd say about like maybe like 8 6 stars down, I would start working towards only going towards one element and being able to beat that Titan. Anyways, regardless of that point, the reason that I use this setup for teams 1, 2, 3, and 4 is because of this. I like to have a lot of debuffers in Team 1 just for the sole purpose of being able to do a lot of utility in the Team 1 while still being able to stay alive. That's why we have the healer in there. Now, the healers are also very good. And note, when I say healer, monsters like Water Persephone, Darkjack, and Water Persephone, Darkjack, and what is the monster? Dark Jelly don't count for this category because those monsters, their 5-star skills are not heals. And in Titans, you get a full stack of blue orbs from simply one blue orb, and that makes healers really, really efficient in this. So, when I say a healer, I mean an actual like recovery or tank unit, like a HANA or a Cupid or something like that. I also use the 3 debuffers in the front because the 3 debuffers allow the Titan to just not do any damage at all. That's why we have 3 of them. And this also helps out with bringing defense downs for the second team, which has more attackers. Now, I also use a defensive variant for this because all of these monsters are utility and they're not supposed to be for damage, so it's mainly about survivability for this Team 1 and Team 3. For the Team 2 and Team 4, the comp that I run is 1 healer, 1 debuffer, and 2 attackers, and this is basically for this reason. Obviously, we need the healer to stay alive still. The debuffer is more of a failsafe, but I prefer having something that also does a decent amount of damage. For example, Water Indra is a great case for this because it still does damage, but it still is a debuffer because it's not absolutely necessary to have a debuffer in the second team. However, I like to have it just in case we get unlucky with resists, so we have another fail-safe option. The 2 attackers as well are for just doing out a maximum amount of DPS. These attackers, it's very important that they have an elemental advantage on the Titan to have the maximum amount of DPS. Lastly, we have an offensive variant in the back for obvious reasons because our Team 2 and Team 4 are mainly for doing damage, and an offensive variant with an attack lead is going to be able to accomplish that the best way. Now, I'm going to move on now to some really good units that I would recommend focusing on completing in Titans. Now, I haven't actually ordered these ones by type, but I'll try to go as quick as I can in order. Now, something to note also is that when I say farmable, I mean that you can catch them all. So don't worry about for example, gatitos are not in this one. They'll be later on. So the monsters I'd focus on are, let's see if I can get them in order. For the fire monsters, I have Fire Miho, and this is because she has a 60% chance to attack down the enemy for 2 turns, and attack down is something that is really, really important and really, really scarce that we don't have very many of right now. There's not very many monsters with attack down, and for Titans, it's super important to have. Another fire monster that I would have is Beth. And Beth, while it may be like, yeah, okay, Beth is a complete meme, let's be honest here, but Beth is actually not that bad in Titans. Obviously, you can only use the Fire Beth against the Wood Astromons, but I'm talking about every single Beth is actually not that bad. And if you think I'm memeing still, look at what I have. I have literally an Evo 3 level 60 Beth that I trained. In fact, I'm going to set it as my main right now, just so everybody knows that I have praised the Temple of the Beth. Anyways, okay, I'm not one of those Beth memers. We're not going to do that. Regardless, another fire monster that I would recommend is Fire Lumo. Fire Lumo, if you're looking for a fire healer and you don't have a Fire Cartine is okay, but saps still aren't implemented yet, so it's not as good. But Fire Lumo, in my opinion, is a great choice, because even though it's not going to heal as much as, say, like a 4-star healer like a Fire Cupid, it's still pretty dang good for the reason that, number one, it has a defense down. And to my knowledge, this is the only healer that has a defense down on its 3-star skill, which is super great, because that also counts it as a debuffer. Secondly, the 5-star skill giving a recovery up, while it's not the greatest thing in the world, as I would prefer a defense up or an attack up or something like that, it's still not bad, because it makes it so that its next heals after the first heal are actually going to be very, very significant. That's all that I have for farmable fire monsters. However, obviously there are still some other attackers that are pretty decent. But now to move on to water monsters, I think we all know what's going to start with this, and that is, of course, Water SHELLIE. Water SHELLIE is by far the best farmable monster for Titans. I think I have about 5 Evo 3s of these already. 100% defense down is just way too good to pass up. Plus, personally, I fight water monsters a lot, so I fight the Water Titan a lot, so the Water Predator on the 5-star is still great for me. However, the 100% defense down is just too good to pass up, and I would recommend building as many of these as you can, as they're probably the best monster that's farmable. Moving on, we also have... Now, I know this isn't farmable in the classic sense, but I put Water Victoria down because it also has defense down on both of its skills, which is still a very wide utility monster. However, it's also a natural 4-star. Now, obviously, this isn't farmable as you can't go and catch it in story mode, but it is farmable through fusion, and it's not... With a little bit of effort, it will not be that hard to Evo 3 a Water Victoria. A third water monster is... And by the way, this isn't only water, but this actually is recommended for all 3 types, is, if I can find it, now this is important, it has to be a variant Siren, as the Sirens on their own aren't too great, but the fact that as a 3-star, as a nat 3, it has an increased defense for 35%. Now obviously it's only to your water Astromons, but in Titans, you're going to be wanting to use the same element of Astromon against the Titan anyways, so it's pretty much just a 35% increase to your defense, which is ridiculous actually. That's about the same as natural 4, and even natural 5-star monsters. So I would highly recommend using variant Sirens on your Titan teams. Obviously Beth is still another good one, but going down the list, another healer that you can use is Water Bellpup. Water Bellpup. Water Bellpup is good in the same way as Fire Lumo is, except because it is a debuffer, as well as it has that recovery up, so it's still a pretty decently good monster. Anyways, moving on to the wood monsters, I only have 3 wood monsters on my list. We have Wood Phibian to start. Wood Phibian, great monster, It's a balanced type, so it's not too squishy. Decent chance for defense down on 3-star. Decent chance for defense on 5-star. Overall, just a pretty good monster if you're looking for something. And on top of that, it also has a 35% increase in attack in clan battles if you want to use it as your variant. I actually have also built one of these. I'm planning to 6-star it as soon as I can. The next on my list is actually a natural 2-star, obviously besides Beth and Siren, which are still for all elements, is the Wood Roca. Wood Roca, it's a defender and a debuffer on both skills. Great skill set. Unfortunately, it's a natural 2-star, but it still should serve your needs if you're looking for a wood monster. 50% attack down on 3-star, 40% defense, 40% chance for defense down on 5-star skill. Overall, just a pretty decent monster. And it's a great filler for a debuffer in Titans if you need one. And the last wood monster, I haven't had much playtesting with this yet, but it is one of the best monsters in my opinion. Just theory crafting here, but I think that it could be one of the best monsters for Titans, and obviously that's the new buffed Wood MUSHI. Wood MUSHI, critical hits have a 100% chance to restore his whole entire SP bar, so he doesn't even need the SP from the Titan, and his 5-star skill is it's already single target, which means it does a lot of increased damage, and it's a hunter, increased critical hit damage by 50%. Now I'm going to experiment with this guy a lot, and I'm going to be experimenting with a lot of this guy in the future. I'm probably going to build 3, 4, maybe even 5 of him, same amount as my water Shellies, and I have high hopes for him, but we'll have to see how he does as he is a natural 2-star. Anyways, moving on to the lights now. I only have 2 light monsters and 1 dark monster on my list, so I'll get to them pretty quickly. First off is, as some of you may have guessed, Light Kilobat. Light Kilobat, 100% chance to reduce the attack for 1 turn. As I already said, attack downers are very scarce already, so decreasing the enemy's attack is really a great skill to have, especially at a 100% chance. And also he has a defense down on his 5-star skill, which is really great. The next monster on my list is a light, and you might think this is a waste, but a light Colt. Where is it? Where's Colt? Light Colt. Ever since the changes to Light Colt, it's actually a pretty good monster for Titans. 70% chance to reduce the enemy's attack for 2 turns. Again, attack downs are super valued here. Plus, it has a single target AoE, or a single target 5-star skill, which, although it's shock and it's not that useful for Titans, it will still do a decent amount of damage. And the only dark monster I have that's farmable is the Dark Colt. Where is it? Dark Colt right here. Pretty much the same thing as pretty much the same thing as the Light Colt, except it's defense down, and it has Light Predator, which will be very good against Light Titans. Anyways, I know the video is getting long, but we're going to move on to the notable monsters for that are not farmable. We're going to start with the fire monsters. First off is Fire Odin. Fire Odin, first off, this is for Rag. Just saying, this is not for me. This is for Ragnarok. Twitch.tv/AsianElite123. If you go to his channel, you'll understand. Anyways, Fire Odin, great monster, all-around utility, natural 5-star, tank type, full utility monster. I don't even think I need to say anything about Fire Odin. It's great for Titans. Next is actually Fire Yaksha. Once again, because attack down is very scarce, 80% for 2 turns makes it a great monster. Plus it's a defender type, which is really nice for Titans. Third is Boltwing. While Boltwing isn't quite as good as Fire Yaksha, it's still pretty decent if you need a fire defense downer. That's a natural 4-star, and it's even a little bit farmable. If you've been farming Boltwings, then good for you. Next is Fire Cupid. This is the healer for fire that I recommend building. Attack down on 3-star skill, great. Attack up on 5-star skill, insane. This guy is probably one of the MVPs for my wood team against the Wood Titan. Just a great unit overall. Lastly, I would say Fire Yuki is worth building. Obviously, it falls in the same category as Boltwing, where it's not quite on the level as all the guys that I mentioned before, but It's still pretty good. It has utility. It is an attacker, so he can be a pseudo debuffer for your teams 2 and 4 possibly. And it's a pretty good unit overall. I'd recommend building it still over the other Yukis. Now to move on to the water units. Obviously, MVP of Titans, possibly the best Titan killer in the entire game. It's Water Indra. Now, just from personal experience, Water Indra is just a broken unit for Titans. 80% chance for a 3-turn attack down is insanely broken, and his 5-star skill just obliterates Titans. It does an insane amount of damage, especially if you couple it with a defense down and you can crit and have a ruin set on him, which I don't have yet, but I'm planning to build, and I think that the damage will just go through the roofs. Second is Water Cura, actually. Now, while she may not make use of her 3-star skill, as it is a morale boost, she's a tank, and she has an attack up, and she's just an overall decent water healer. She's obviously not as impressive as something like Fire Cupid, but she still puts in work, and I definitely recommend building her. Third thing is, going back up here, Water Valkyrie. Water Valkyrie is just a really great unit. Defense down on 5-star, Predator on 3-star, makes her just a force to be reckoned with when paired down with an attack and a defense down already. She's going to do a lot of damage to Titans, especially Fire Titan, and I definitely recommend her. Lastly on water, I know a lot of you don't have these, but Water Gatito. Water Gatito, a 100% attack down for 2 turns. That's similar to another monster on my list, except this guy is a defender, and what can I even say? This is the best attack downer in the game besides Water Indra. In fact, he could even be better than Water. I don't want to say he's better than Water Indra. Definitely not better than Water Indra, but 100% attack down for 2 turns is ridiculous. I would definitely use Water Gatito if I had one. Next up is for wood. Starting with wood, we have Wood Odin. Wood Odin has a heal on her 3-star. That's a solid skill to have, especially against Water Titan, where she'll be healing up a lot. And a defense down on 5-star, which is great, makes her a pseudo debuffer. Next on my list is one of the MVPs of Titans so far that I've seen, Wood Leo. Wood Leo, defender, insane. 60% chance of defense down, 60% chance of attack down. Overall, just a great monster to have. And when you couple him with the other MVP of Woods, the Wood HANA is just insanely ridiculous. A 3-star skill that's an attack down, and a defense up on 5-star skill makes her a force to be reckoned with, especially when paired with a Wood Leo. I would definitely recommend building both of those monsters as they have insane Titans damage. Lastly on my Woods list is the Wood Musketeer. Wood Musketeer, similar to SHELLIE, not much else to say about him besides, he's pretty much a SHELLIE for Water Titans as well as Wood Titans. Moving on to Light Indra. Light Indra is just a great attacker to have, as even when you send him against any other element, his 3-star skill will make him a great force to be reckoned with, and his 5-star skill of Hunter, while it's not as good as Wood Mushi's because it's AoE, it's still a great thing to have, and I definitely recommend, if you have a Light Indra somehow, I would definitely recommend building him up for Titans. Secondly is Wood Anu. This guy's kind of similar to Light Anu. He's similar to Wood Leo, except he has a 100% chance for a defense break. But he doesn't have the attack down, which makes him. I would say that the defense down up is actually definitely worth the lack of an attack down, and I would say that this guy is probably on the same level as Wood Leo. Unluckily, I don't have one. I did not focus on him for Fusion, and he's not really on my to-do list, but I definitely recommend that if you have one, he's a great pick for Titans. Next on my list is Light Yaksha. Light Yaksha has a really nice defense down skill on his 3-star, and his 5-star, while it's not the best thing in the world because it's only 30% Predator, it's still a good attacker and a pseudo debuffer to use in your teams 2 and 4. Great choice overall. Lastly for Light, we have Light Loki. Light Loki is a balanced unit, full utility, just attack down and defense down, pretty straightforward, very good for Titans. And now to move on to the dark units. Finally. Sorry, I'm running out of breath a little bit here. Alright, now we have literally the best unit in Titans probably. Dark Indra. If you have a Dark Indra, congratulations to you. You have won Titans. Jesus Christ. He has Water Indra's 5-star skill on his 5-star and his 3-star skill. And he's an attacker. This makes him insanely broken. I don't even know where to begin with this guy. He just does insane amounts of damage. That's all I can say. Secondly, Dark Odin. Obviously Dark Odin. Battle Rush is pretty broken. Self-sustain. And then a 5-star skill is an 80% chance to defense down for 3 turns. Very strong overall. Next up is Dark Leo, which I was actually... Where is it? I was actually fortunate enough to grab a Dark Leo. Dark Leo, while it's an attacker, which makes it a little bit less valuable, it still has a 100% chance for an attack down for 2 turns. Great monster overall. I would definitely recommend building him. And he's just a great monster overall. Now, lastly, something a little bit weird, and I don't recommend any of you guys using this for Titans, but I mean, looking at the skills, it's hard to argue with, but Dark Truffel. This Dark Truffel is actually it's a defender type. It has 60% chance on both of its 3 and 5-star skills. It's not a bad thing for Titans. Like, if you for some reason have extra Dark Truffles and you just have them laying around, I would build one up for Titans. It's a great attack downer. It's pretty troll. I mean, sure. Like, I only have 2 Dark Truffles, but I would definitely recommend building one if you have extra ones. Anyways, that's going to be all, guys. I'm sorry that this one was very long. I'm definitely going to make a note to check the description, and oh boy. Yeah, I'm definitely going to make a note to check the description if you didn't want to watch this whole long video about elaboration on why things are good and stuff. Anyways, that's been all. Thanks for watching, and leave a comment below on what you wanted to see, on what you want to see next, and I will definitely make that video for you guys. In a little bit, let's see how long there is for PvP. I will have another video posting in about a few hours. Let's see, there's 9.5 hours in PvP left. I'm actually about to use my tickets after this video ends, and I'll post my rush hour. I don't know starting from when or how I'm going to do it, but I'll figure it out. Anyways, that's been all. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment below. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll just be posting mostly like informational videos and a lot of PvP stuff. And that's been all. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys later.